a wonderful line in Gershwin's Porgy and Bess. Methuselah lived 900 years, but who calls that living when no gal will give in to someone who's 900 years? For George, I have this remark. Think of it, George, if we could combine our new ages and go back 180 years, we might meet the likes of Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, U.S. Grant, and maybe even Fess Parker. Finally, one of my few benefits of senior status is that others are willing to tolerate a reasonable amount of what one wit described it as anecdotage. I shall not, I assure you, test your patience on that matter. In closing, I want to thank all of you for coming, but particularly my dear children who've organized this event, as well as various members of our extended family. There you are. For arranging this wonderful event. Enough already. Let's schmooze and enjoy.
I did write a very bad poem because it's what we do in our family. And it's short. We've gathered here to celebrate with food and drink and levity George's achievement of a milestone, extraordinary longevity. Direct descendants of the man have extra reason for our cheers. With luck, we will inherit too his healthy run through all these years. That Bogart nose, that Bogart wit, that derriere bequeathed. These are among the gifts his grateful children have received. O King of Trusts, Prince of Estates, experts on inheritance, your offspring ask but one thing more from the Bogart provenance. You gave us love, you gave us means, you shared our mother, your exceptional wife. Now we just hope to get your genes for long and happy and wonderful life.
Your neighbors here in two houses, what we call oaks and acorns, would like you to have a presentation, like the Tin Woodman, you know, and the Cowardly Lion. You need a presentation. And we've created this presentation, and I want you to open it up, and I want you to read what it says loudly to everyone, please.
GTB.
GTB, you don't look a day over 90.
The first time I saw Geo, he was a mass of rippling muscle. It never occurred to me, to little old me, that he was after Adeline Russell. On the beach he would appear sporting an African pith hat, which no doubt he had won in combat, fighting some Hattat. At Cornell he had hit the longest foul that history then could find.
That's true.
In war he had fought the Nazis and all alone whipped them, in my mind. He seemed to me to be a genuine local hero, a figure more resplendent than even Emperor Nero. He found me work with CGC. Remember that?
I did?
Yeah. Citizens of Greater Chicago, I think that was it.
That's right. Oh, yes, yeah.
When I was just a schmuck. Caused me to write a paper that grand juries we could chuck. True. In Lakeside we were partners. We ruled the local courts. George's potent backhand would pop them out of their shorts. Only George could water the lawn, drink iced tea, and run the rototiller while reading the New York Times, getting a tan, and smoking a fine panatella.
That's it.
So now he's reached a ripe old age in defiance of nature's filing. But if he'll hang with us for many more years, we know we'll keep on smiling.
I promise no reminiscences, except I must tell you the story. I adopted a credo rather early on. I was in law school. And some of you may remember the architect, Edward Durrell Stone. I went to one of his lectures in Cambridge, but the only thing I came away with was a, quote, credo, or do you say credo? And it's as follows. Keep a few faults around. People like to talk about them. It makes you a much more interesting person. I tried to keep up that credo. I decided it had no practical advantage, so I gave up.
Ginny, I'm representing us, the criers.
Thank
I just
you.
want you to know that, okay? And I need to read this because otherwise I get... If my mother was here, she would have a treasure trove of memories of you, George. Not just because you were siblings, but because you and Lindy, and she, I'm crying already, developed a deep and genuine friendship that transcended family bonds. But she's not here, and I'm sorry she's not. And unfortunately, George, I have a much more modest memory bank. I couldn't begin to tell you who George Bogart is, but I can tell you who you are to me. First, the obvious. George, you are a remarkable physical specimen. From your 20s, when your Hollywood good looks helped you win the heart of the sweet and equally good-looking Adelaide, to your 70s, when your ex-wife Rosemary once whistled and remarked to me, "What a body." To today, still venturing down to the beach, funky knees and all. I remember your playfulness, your quirky sartorial choices, might I point out this evening. Shirt. When I commented going to a safari, he said, "They let me out of the zoo." Which leads to number 2, George's silly puns. George's use of language. George's teasing of me, my brother, Nick, Amy, Tony. Ginny, I forgot that because I wasn't in that phase of your life. Your generosity. Always ready to pay for a dinner. Include others in an outing. Go to every wedding of every member of every family, including mine all the way in Milan, Italy. Donate to a cause or a candidate you truly believed in. But most of all, I think of you as a serious man. A man of strong convictions, a man loyal to friends, and above all to family. Your devotion to your parents, visiting them religiously even when they were well past their prime, taking on the obligation of the family business, Bogart on Trust, despite your own very busy schedule with family and work, your devotion to lakeside, clearing brush, planting and gardening, taking on the responsibility of the big house, your pleasure in the simple things of life, a good cigar, the beauty of the beach, the pleasure of your grandchildren's company. I could never reconcile the picture of you as a young man so bookish that your sisters called you Newt, with the uncle who liked a stiff drink and cut a dashing figure in tennis whites on the court, until the trip we took to the Auvergne. And there I saw a private man, a quiet man, a reflective man, happiest sitting under a tree with a good book or listening to a beautiful piece of classical music. At home with your thoughts, seeking calm, seeking simplicity, comfortable in your own thoughts. And the phrase came to my mind that I read last night. We were all here last night looking at photos and reading old letters. And there was a phrase that my mother used to describe Granny that I think for you. George, you are a person of consequence.
Very nice.